synopsis of that. So with all of that said, Jessie Grundy, welcome to the Pachyderm Podcast Show.
I'm happy to be here.
So tell our folks a little bit about yourself, man.
I'm Jessie Grundy. I come from East Oakland, California.
Mm-hmm.
Family from Texas. We came out here. Mama's air traffic controller. I learned my business acumen from her. And then my dad was always a seller. So he would sell different things for moms. Moms sell too, but he was more like he had the little special things he did that he could sell anything. And then my mom was like the person putting the stuff together and being creative and stuff. So I get that side from her. I was a good kid until I got to high school. Then I kind of, got into Oakland. I kind of, learned the streets and stuff. And then by the time I got older, I have been very involved with cannabis. So when I seen the opportunity for to become legal with it, I wanted to be one of the first people. So I read all the regulations. I got all my paperwork right, made sure I had all the documents. Then I submitted, and I became one of the first equity applicants ever. And one of the first Black people in Oakland to have a cannabis license, a cannabis distro. And we are in our third year, heading into our fourth year. We still here. A lot of people not here. We got investments by Jay-Z, Rock Nation, some other people. They silent investors, but they big celebrities too. So I thank everybody who's done invested in us, and we really in the very beginning, very, very.
And the name of your company is the Peaks Company, right?
Yes, correct. The Peaks Company.
How did you come up with that name? What was the influence? What was behind that?
Originally I wanted to do this. I wanted to be called Foreign Flavors, and then after a while, I was like, man, this gonna get old. This gonna get stale. You know what I mean? Like that. Like it just seemed a little too corny. So I was like, man, I gotta think of something else. I need to think of one word. I need to think of something that when you hear it, you think of high. So I did a synonyms for high Google search, and one came up was peak. And let me put a Z to it, add a hip hop flair to it, and then the Peaks Company was born from that.
So you're in an industry that not only are there not a lot of Black folks in, but being a young Black male at that, what are some of the highs and lows you've experienced since you started your company?
The lows, definitely when I first started, it took me about 3 months to sell my first anything. So when I was in that point, it was kind of just like, man, can I get a sale? Can I do something right? And it took a long time, just having like $20,000-$30,000 of work that you can't move, that you're responsible for. So that's $20,000 out of my pocket until I could find a home for what I bought. So those low, like sometimes picking bad. Like in the beginning, I didn't really know what the consumers wanted. I didn't know what the market wanted. So sometimes I'll buy something that maybe I like personally, but maybe the consumers didn't like. Sometimes you'll get some product, and if you don't do good enough quality control, they could be like hermed out, which would mean like it's a lot of seeds in the flower, which everybody hates. So I had ran across that problem one time and had to literally make all of pre-rolls. So I've had my downs. I would say my ups are like getting in the cookies and seeing them really like get behind me, put some marketing dollars behind me, and I have no type of affiliate. So that was something very key for me. Like seeing the love that I got from somebody who has no affiliation with me. What else? Oh, definitely getting the investment by Rock Nation and Jay-Z was kind of like mind-boggling.
How did that come about? And for those that don't know, Cookies is a dispensary, right? That's all across the Bay, LA.
Yeah, they're probably the biggest household name in cannabis for the most part. It's owned by Burner. They're in California, Florida, Michigan. They're everywhere, even overseas. So yeah, they're one of the biggest brands for cannabis. The Rock Nation thing came about, which is so crazy. I just got a DM. And I was like, yeah, we're with Rock Nation and we're interested in investing. And I'm like, dude, get out of my DMs. Like wasting my time. Like, you want me to get excited? Like, why you want to play with me like this? Like, you feel me? I was kind of mad, like the dude was trying to play with me, what I thought. And then he kind of sent me over all the stuff to prove he real and prove that what he was saying was verified. And I was kind of taken back, like, whoa. And at that point, I was really anti, what we call it, anti taking capital from other people. Because I always have loved the fact that I own my company 100%. But at that, I kind of had did everything possible at the level I was. So it kind of was a great thing because I had to really sit there and think, like, do you want to just stay in this level, in this space forever, or do you want to grow and continue to compete and even dominate in the field and have a brand that could be worth hundreds of millions? So I had to really think about, did I want a big piece of something that might not be as worth as much, or did I want a smaller piece of something that could be huge? So that was a conversation I had to have with myself and my moms and my girl and my daughter and stuff.
Absolutely. We talking about equity in cannabis. What are your thoughts on, bro? 20 years ago, brothers was getting locked up on street level for selling herb. And now it's everywhere. It's common. I can download an app and have it delivered to my door. What are your thoughts on in a lot of cases, the hypocrisy now that big money is involved in this? What are your thoughts on that?
It's really pretty crazy when you consider, like, most of the people you'll meet, owners and high-level execs, won't be black. They'll usually be white males. A lot of them don't even use the plant at all. They don't know any of the culture. So I really think it's pretty a horrible thing that we see, that is people still in jail to this day for life sentences for cannabis, non-violent crime. So I think all of that is pretty ridiculous. And me and a couple of my peers are really trying to work to destigmatize cannabis and also bring in more Black people in this space, because it's not nearly enough. And when you don't have enough Black people, then we don't have enough resources, because there's not enough of us to, like, really share the resources with. So when you get in this industry, it's not a lot of people you can turn to who go look like you. So when you turn into somebody, they're gonna be having they hand out expecting for some equity out of your company just to help. So I definitely think it needs to be a balance of things, especially with all the things we went through for this plant. It needs to be more grants and loans and different things like that available to Black people, and also education, because you can money and all this, but they need to know how to run a business. They need to be financial literate and just different things so they can actually run a business, not just say, oh, I got this cannabis license, and then 6 months later they looking to sell it because they don't know what they're doing.
On that note, I'm glad you mentioned that. I got a lot of young people, some of them, especially when they heard that I was going to be interviewing you, have a lot of questions. And a lot of these youngsters, of course, want to know, like, how do I start? Yeah, I'm doing this on the street level, but I want to be legit with this. I want to do what he's doing. What would your advice be? What's the first thing they need to do?
First thing I would say is read the regulations, because most of these guys getting licenses are paying lawyers and doing this and, like, having it done for them. So you want to read the regulations so you don't have to pay a lawyer. You want to be able to do everything yourself. That's going to cut a big part of the budget that you have to spend $60,000, $100,000 for this lawyer to do the things that you could do yourself if you just take time to read. The second part I would say is save up some money. If you plan on doing this, I would say save like 20% of your disposable income for maybe a year, so you could just be right when you get in here. Then you should be working on getting the cities with an equity program. That's very key. So if you're from any city or you're around the city that has an equity program, I would definitely focus on that. Once you do that, you could file out an application and get approved. And then cities like Oakland already have grants in a tier system. So if you just beginning, you'll be able to get this amount of money. Once you get higher, you'll be able to get this amount of money. So there's, especially Oakland has probably the best equity program. And there's ways that you can get into this and not have to spend a crazy amount of money.
Mm-hmm. And you're a serial entrepreneur. We're going to get into some of the other projects outside of the Peaks Company. You're very hands-on with your company, even down to the design of the, I look at some of the influences, funny, it might be sometimes a wrestling tip to that, like what goes into that. You're very creative in that aspect. Your product stands out. How important is that in terms of marketing?
very important. I really try to focus on popular culture because I know that's something that like is eye-catching and people can understand off the bat. So I try to do things that's like new in the media, like how I dropped a strand called like Dogecoin. So that was like, I knew people would like that because it's a big crypto thing going on. When the movie Tiger King came out, I dropped a strand called Tiger King because I knew everybody had heard about that. So if they went to a store and was able to see that, they would be like, oh my God, let me get this. Yeah, the Woo. I've named that after Pop Smoke. He was a cultural icon. I wanted to do something where people can, you know, vibe to him and pay my respects. So I just always try to do things that people in the culture can appreciate. And I think doing that lets people know like I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was going to a store, I probably wouldn't just want to buy something in just a jar. I want to buy something that's experience. So I try to really focus on making the brand the experience itself.
And like I mentioned, you've been at this for quite a while. I remember the Bricks line when you started out with the clothing merchandise, the apps that you've had. Now you're dealing with something, bro, called bots. Explain that.
Yeah, Blockbots. That's my NFT company. It's pretty crazy. Like we done did over 6 figures in the last like month and a half. And then really just started off just doing something fun, just taking my mind off of cannabis because this is probably the first time I ever just like focused on one thing in my life. Always been like a scatterbrain. 1 second I'm doing this, 1 second I'm doing that. So doing something for 3 years for somebody like me kind of could take a toll on me mentally. So I needed a passion project to just have me look forward to something that wasn't just business all the time. So I that just really with my imagination, thinking of all these crazy little characters that I would love to see fight and be like robots or just like, you know, just really just some fun stuff. And then I took a break because the NFT market was so new that I was like, man, this is really new. There's not that many consumers in here. I'll come back to this one day. And then one day, people just start buying all my old stuff. So I'm like, oh, we gotta take this back to another notch. So I got a partner in that named Tim. He do like all the technical side and back end side for me, so I could just really focus on being a creative. Because in Peaks, I wear all the caps. So I tell myself with my other companies, I'm gonna partner up with people so I don't have to. I could do the stuff that I want to do instead of the stuff everything. So once I see now, I was telling them like we gotta bring it back. So we bring it back, and it's just been exploding. We got so many followers, like 100,000 on Instagram, 5,000 on Twitter. Our Discord got close to 2,000 people on the chat room. So it's really taken off. And we only got like 100. So I can only imagine when we have 1,000 and different things like that. So the demand is way higher than the supply. We sell most of our bots in under a minute. It's pretty ridiculous.
So for those that might not know, what's an NFT? What's the purpose of and the function of an NFT?
An NFT is a non-fungible token, and basically it's used as an authenticator for art, music, etc. So basically everything you upload as an NFT is backed by Ethereum or some type of cryptocurrency on the blockchain. You upload your art and you set a price in, say, Ethereum on like a marketplace. The most popular marketplace is OpenSea. You put it up there, you mint it, which is basically uploading it. And then people could just buy it and then they could resell it. And the blockchain.
You're getting a one of one when you get an NFT. Okay.
Yes. So you're getting that one of one and it's authenticated in the blockchain. So you buy it, you know who the original owner is from the blockchain. You know the first person who bought it. You know the second person who bought it. It's all on the ledger. So it's a great authentication tool for people who are in things that can be easily duplicated, especially like in the world we live in now, where everything can be duplicated. I done had bags of weed that I just knew nobody could redo, and they still was able to remake it. So we just live very.
It's really some busters out there counterfeiting the packaging.
Yeah, it's definitely counterfeiting packaging. It's a big market for that. So if they can counterfeit Peaks bags and then say they got Peaks for a lower price and they got some decent weed, somebody's gonna buy it and then be juiced and be able to say, yeah, I got peaks all the way out here in New York, or I got peaks out here in South Carolina, or just random places, you know? So yeah, they definitely be counterfeiting bags.
I came across that this summer. My brother Richie Rich, man, was hot because his cake batter product, somebody like in no time, he had literally just dropped it a week before, and somebody already was counterfeiting it with the packaging, the labeling, and everything just that quick. But I think part of it, the blessing and the curse about how quick technology move, it's somebody waiting to, and that's just it. They're gonna come after what's hot.
Exactly.
But in addition to all of this, man, when I'm talking about you being a serial entrepreneur, you've also have your hand in the music scene. Aside from having your own projects out there, G5 to Jet, for those that don't know, you have your hands in a musical way and another way now. Please explain the young lady from across the bridge, man, across the seas that you work with.
So I have an artist named Jessie. I found her last year, maybe like March. I found her on Instagram just doing covers, and I just really seen the star in her, and I was like, man, I would love for you to be my first artist. I have some disposable income. I have been going up to Rock Nation office. I had a friend there, and I don't like being in places where it's a lot of money being made and I don't got nothing to, like, I can't make no money with them because I don't have an artist. I got these tools that I could make money from, but I don't have an artist. So I went on the hunt. I found her, and she's been doing great. We have a song with Coi Leray, the video coming out in mid-October, and yeah, things are really looking up for that. And I also have a just signed a recent artist named Baja Banks, and she's a rapper. So I kind of want to keep them separate. So I got a rapper, I got R&B, and they don't collide. They in two different worlds. And I could use different resources for different people. Nobody's feeling like they're in competition. So I really just want to be a label for Black women to come and feel safe, have a safe space, not have a guy trying to like date them and talk to them to use them for money. Just really there to develop the talent, make a lot, and just be global. I see the beauty of women, and there's more aesthetically things I can be a part of than as for like a male, unless I find like the weekend or something. But those are generational type people. Women, they get hair color, crazy custom outfits, dancers and stuff like that. That's kind of like it's more exciting for me. So yeah.
Where are both of them from respectively? Where's Jessie from?
Jessie is from Suffolk County, which is like countryside of England. She's not even from London, so she's probably one of the biggest artists to ever even come out of her city ever. And Baja's from Chicago. So yeah, two different worlds. We got like super proper, and then we got like the gritty. I love it. It's like I get to do both. I get to do the R&B side, then I get to do the rap side. So it makes me happy.
That's what's up. I would definitely love to have them on the show.
Definitely.
With all of that you do, one question that I ask all of the guests is, how do you juggle and take care of your mental health, your self-care? What does that look like?
What does that look like? Spending time with my daughter definitely kind of grounds me, like puts life into perspective, because she's happy with minimal things, just the little things, just having fun with her friends, her cousins, just little stuff. Like, it doesn't have to involve money. It's just the essence of just living in the moment, which I'm trying to do more. I medicate with my products. That's another way. I'm trying to start to get into more yoga meditation when I wake up, but sometimes my phone start ringing immediately. So I'm trying to figure out a way I could really start setting a block of time for myself. But yes, I do definitely need to take care of myself more mentally, because I'm constantly thinking about different this, that. Oh, I'm missing something. I'm constantly feeling like I might be not doing something that I'm supposed to be doing. So yes, that can could start taking a toll. But I definitely think mental health is super important, especially knowing a couple friends who committed suicide and stuff like that. So I understand the importance of taking care of your mind.
Absolutely. We see these creatives and we see these folks with these wonderful projects, but we very rarely know what goes on behind the scenes, and they suffer in silence, because that's the blessing and the curse of being the strong person and the person that seems like they always moving, is folks feel like you don't have any problems, like, because you're pushing your projects that, you know, in them down times, when you really look at, you know, people, it's interesting that people feel like, well, they had so much going for them. But yeah, sometimes those are those dark moments as well, which is why I'm really big on, like I say, I ask all of the guests about, you know, how they handle with all of these great things that they're doing. What brings you joy? What brings you peace? That type of thing.
Definitely.
If you could go back, man, explain the 10-year-old Jessie. The 10-year-old Jessie.
10-year-old Jessie. He just wanted to play sports. He just wanted to go with Big Cuz to the Raider camps and catch footballs and go to Brian Shaw camps and play basketball and be at Oakland Bay Roof and you know, thinking he gonna be a baseball player one day. That was really me, just being an athlete but also I was very creative very early.
Absolutely.
I was really a different kid though. Like people see me now, they kind of think of something else. Like I grew into this, but 10-year-old me did not care anything about gangster, anything about any of that, I was way more abstract than most kids. Like I was just into anything weird. I would name myself after things. I love cartoons. I wanted to be them. I love action figures. I wanted my action figures to look like me and be black or alien. So I didn't really like the toys that wasn't me, and then I would become the toy and all. So yeah, I was a really different kid compared to most kids, because a lot of my friends kind of grew up already like street minded. You know what I mean? And even though I was around, like it wasn't like any of us was in the hills or nothing. It just I felt my family kind of like you know, just kept shielding me from a lot of that type of stuff and let me keep my innocence for a longer time than most kids get to keep in Oakland.
Absolutely.
So I think
absolutely, like being in it without being in it kind of thing.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So I mean, what is 50-year-old Jessie gonna be like? What do you see?
Oh, 50-year-old Jessie still gonna be lit. I'm still gonna have a lot. I'm still gonna have a lot of fun, just a lot more wiser, and I would love to say I'll be retired, but that don't even sound like me. So I think I'll still be working on some type of passion project. Hopefully I'm doing stuff with Esther and Baja and them being superstar. Already have been superstars by 50. Esther will be 30 something, which is crazy because I'm that much older than her. So yeah, hopefully at that point, Esther at that Rihanna stage where we focusing on like her becoming a brand more than just artistry and getting like lifetime achievement awards for that. And then maybe Black Bots is going to be digital, so it'll live forever. So hopefully I'm still making enough residual income just on those alone that I don't even have to truly work.
Mm-hmm.
And then peaks are probably at that point, 50 years, I probably would have probably sold it by the end. Just like there'll be some crazy amount of money, dollars thrown at me by the end. End of the day, I gotta take care of my family. So
see, you'll be on your 10th project by the end. So I'm already knowing, like,
that
was the building block. I'm already working on these other things right now. You purchasing downtown real estate, brother. I need the Peaks building is established there. And that's great, man. Just to keep that that mindset. A lot of our folks, particularly our young folks, need to know that it can be done. They see it and it seems like it's something abstract, and you being from here, born and raised in Oakland, young and black like them, you inspire a whole lot of them, whether you realize it or not. Even if it's not to go into that field, a lot of them feel, and I'm just speaking from the youngsters that I work with, feel hopeless that, you know, it's not possible, that this is all I can't be from here and be successful. And you kind of go against the grain. Well, not kind of, you go against the grain of all of that to showing that it could be made. Man, I thank you for being on the show today, taking time from, I know, your hectic and busy schedule, balancing all of this, balancing fatherhood. I thank you for your time, man.
Oh, thank you, because I appreciate it.
And I'm so proud of you in so many different ways. But if you can do one good